Hi guys, Nada here from Techtesters, and today I'm going to talk about the brand new case from Cooler Master, the Silencio S400, which we have right here. So they showed this case for the first time at Computex. We were there, we got to play with it a bit at their stand, but now we have it here in the office to actually properly test and review and share with you guys. So Silencio cases have a very special place in my heart because more than 5 years ago, Silencio 352 was one of the first cases we ever reviewed. So I'm quite curious how this one is going to be. This is an MATX case. You can order it like this, completely closed, or you can order a tempered glass version that will cost you 10 euros more. Now, let's build this case, see how it performs, and yeah, put it in perspective with the other cases. Let's go. This video is brought to you by the MSI GS75 Stealth, an ultra-thin 17-inch gaming laptop that combines a sleek design with a ton of power. It comes with Intel's latest processors, 144Hz IPS panel, and high-end GPU options for that great gaming experience. Get yours using the links in the description below. Let's look at the outside of the case. The design of the case is very clean, very minimalistic. Silencio means silence, so this case is focused on silence. Other than that, it looks very much like the NR400, but just with the front door and sound dampening. So on the front of the case there is a door that you can actually reverse, so you can change it depending on which side of the desk your PC is going to be on, which is a great little extra. I really like that. And when you open it, you will reveal the dust filter as well as the optical drive bay. On the top of the case, we have a power button, a reset button, two USB 3 Type A connections, only one audio connection, and there is also an SD card reader that is only USB 2. So it's a great little extra for incidental use, but if you're going to use it every day, make sure to get something that is actually a bit faster. Now you can remove the sound dampened top panel and change it into a dust filter that is mesh if you're going to put fans in the top of your case. Overall, the quality of this case is very good. It is made completely out of good steel with only a few plastic details. The only thing that I think they should have done a bit better is probably the bottom dust filter, which is very simple and it doesn't fit the price tag of 80 euros for this case. They should have used something like a magnetic filter or a slide-in one or anything else really to fit this price tag. Let's look at the inside of this case, and the layout is actually pretty standard. So we have a PSU shroud, we have a couple of grommets next to the motherboard that you can use to pull cables through. It comes with two fans originally, 120mm fan in the back and 120mm fan in the front. They also added the FP120 fans instead of the usual fans that use less power and are more silent. Now, when it comes to compatibility with fans and radiators, on the top it can fit either a 120 or 140mm fan if you leave the optical drive bay, but if you remove the optical drive bay, it can fit 220mm or 240mm fans as well as radiators of that size. When it comes to the front, it fits 220 or 240mm fans or radiators as well. When it comes to storage, it fits two SSDs here in the bottom that is on top of the PSU shroud, and it fits two SSDs in the back. When it comes to hard drives, you can actually mount one under the optical drive bay here, and then there is a bracket in the back that fits 3 more HDD drives. So in total, you can fit 4 SSDs and 4 normal mechanical hard drives. Let's see the build that I have right here. So this is a very mid-range build that you are most likely to build in a case like this, of this price range. When it comes to the CPU, this is the AMD Ryzen 5 2600 in the MSI B450M Mortar motherboard, which is a great motherboard. It's affordable, it's great for overclocking a bit, and it has a lot of features, so that is a very good choice if you're looking for a motherboard for this CPU. When it comes to the memory, I have a Corsair LPX modules here, 16 gigabytes, and the GPU is the 1660 Gaming X, also from MSI. Power supply is Cooler Master's MWE450. As you can see, this power supply has the mustard ketchup cables, but at Computex we've seen that the new MWE power supplies will actually come with all black cables, which is great for budget builders in the future. Now, initially, I built the system to be identical to the system I built in the NR400 case, which I did a little review of. I'm going to leave a link down below if you're going to check it out. But that build actually had a stock cooler of the 2600X, I think. And I actually had to change that cooler to the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Black Edition. And I'm going to explain why when we talk about the results. But yeah, the test results are going to be very interesting. Let's start by looking at the results of the S400 with the Wraith Spire stock cooler, using exactly the same build as we did for the NR400. In idle, we can see that the S400 is actually quite a bit quieter, but it also runs a bit warmer. The motherboard, case, GPU and CPU temps are a couple of degrees higher. During gaming that mostly stresses the GPU, we see basically a similar result. The S400 really doesn't have any problems here while being a bit quieter. When putting stress on the CPU, however, we see the CPU getting a lot warmer than in the NR400, uncomfortably warm even, with the case also warming up more. Due to the CPU cooler having to work harder to compensate, we see that the S400 is still a bit quieter, but the difference is actually quite small. Now, trying to find out what causes the heat buildup, we reran IDA64 CPU-GPU test for some different fans, the top cover removed, by opening the door and removing the front filter. Oddly enough, even with the front open, it still ran significantly warmer than the NR400, meaning that the sound padding probably just retains a lot more warmth, and the two quiet fans simply have a rough time removing it. Now, the Ryzen stock cooler is actually a top-down cooler, so I changed that and installed the Hyper 212 Black Tower cooler, as the position of its fans will actually help the natural front-to-back airflow of the case. Now, that helped push the CPU temps down to a reasonable level, even under this unreasonable load. So I have to say that I'm a bit disappointed when it comes to this case, because I really wanted it to do well. I do have a soft spot for Silencio cases in my heart because of our history, but this case just doesn't make sense over the NR400, for example. It is more expensive, and even though it has great quality, it has a nice design, you can get a closed version, it's great for offices and everything. It's silent, that definitely is true, but it doesn't get rid of the heat, which means it keeps your components warm, which means it shortens the life expectancy of your computer. And that is something that is a general and very serious concern. So I really do think that you should go for the NR400 for the MATX case of choice. Now, if you do want to go for this case, because it can be understandable, it's a good looking case, it's a good quality case, and if you do plan on having a lot of very loud mechanical hard drives, you would like to have your case dampened. Just be prepared to invest a bit more, because if you go for a mid-range system, which you should, this case is not going to keep up with a high power system. You do need to purchase an extra CPU cooler, and you should definitely get extra fan or two to keep the airflow going, and then it's going to be just fine if that is good enough for you. Now, that's it for me today. I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye!